Hey, it's the Nerdy Sports Fan. We're giving out draft grades, and we're into the AFC South. We've already done the Colts and getting into the Titans now. Now, they did really well last season. Nobody can deny that nobody really expected the Titans to get as far as they did in the playoffs, especially beating the Ravens. I mean, they beat the Ravens and the Patriots, teams that everybody anticipated would beat them. So, yeah, they've got a lot to look forward to. This roster is well built. It's a very tough team. And with a limited number of draft picks, the likelihood of players coming from this draft and stepping in and doing damage on this roster was pretty slim unless you selected very, very specific positions that you've really taken some losses in free agency on. Specifically, I would have loved to see more of a focus on the defensive line earlier on. Tackle was not really the greatest position to address in the first round, especially with the talent pool at that point. Isaiah Wilson, I think, was an overdraft. You could have easily gotten him pretty deep, honestly, in the second round. Some teams were high on him. By some teams, I mean probably the Titans. Okay? He was not the better tackle in his program. He probably saw a lot more attention than Andrew Thomas did. So you got good quality film on him. I get it, but he's overdrafted for the position he was in. I think of some shuffling around of where you took certain positional players would have benefited the Titans, because in the second round at 61, you get Christian Fulton, which I love. I love that pick. He's a player that a lot of people thought of as a first round pick, and mostly because he's an extremely, extremely safe pick at corner. There's no holes in this guy's game. He's fast enough to play the position. He's got good, not great size. He's a willing tackler and an effective one. He bats balls away quite well. He goes for turnovers, maybe not as often as you would like to see, but he does still get them. So, and coming from a school that's widely known as DBU, I mean, LSU pumps a great deal of defensive secondary talent into the league. So you know the guy is ready for the position. So he's going to fill in the void for Logan Ryan very easily, and really, honestly, in my mind, be an upgrade, because Logan Ryan, as an extremely, extremely effective tackler, but he just allowed too many passes to actually be completed. And you're not going to have that issue as much with Christian Fulton. So immediate upgrade on the roster, always good. But yeah, following a pick where you really reached for a tackle, it's a mixed bag. You have then Darrynton Evans in the third round. And if you were looking at my pre-draft videos, I had Darrynton Evans listed as one of my top 5 running backs coming out this year. He did great things at Appalachian State. He was essentially their entire offense. He's a very, very fast player. He can break it into the end zone anytime. And there were plays where he got bottled up at the line or caught in the backfield, and that's not his fault. He had a terrible team. Okay, he had a bad offensive line. You cannot blame a running back who's not a bruiser, who lowers his shoulder and runs over people, to make a hole. You can't blame a running back for not doing that. Not everybody is Derrick Henry, and weird, you already have Derrick Henry. So getting a speed demon like Darrynton Evans, who's got some moves. He's not just a one-trick pony. This guy can make people miss as well. I think he's a perfect complement for what you already have. And I really, really do love that pick. Afterwards, again, you have 5th and 7th rounders after this. You're not necessarily anticipating these people to make the team. Middle defensive line is already kind of done at that point as far as the talent pool. If you're in need of the middle of the offensive line, then you really, that's where you make your hay, when you're getting guards and centers. Unless they're just absolutely phenomenal as a center, you're going to find them in the 4th and 5th round. When you get down to that point, and that's when you first addressed defensive tackle, it's, in my mind, at the absolute best, a rotational player, and not likely to do anything to replace what you've lost in Casey. So Cole McDonald, I'm not going to waste my breath on. Same with Chris Jackson. They're camp bodies. They're not necessarily likely to make the team. So what you're really judging this draft off of is the first 4 picks and really the first 3. Because, again, Lauren Murchison, the defensive tackle, he's at the absolute best rotational depth. So Isaiah Wilson, I'm very much down on. I think he's horribly overdrafted. I think you can, if you shifted where you take certain positions and maybe went after defensive tackle in the first round, or traded down and gotten more picks so you can address offensive tackle, defensive and defensive tackle in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, I would have appreciated that quite a bit. They didn't really do any moving, and they picked where they picked, and I give them a C. Okay? There's a mixed bag. Again, I'm very down on their 1st round pick, but very much up on their next 2. So I think they did okay. Not great. Tell me what you guys think. Okay? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this draft, and check out the other videos I have to figure out where I am at on the other teams. Give me a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Thank you for watching.